Hello everyone, my name is Erica and welcome back to my channel, Ginger Books. So it has been a hot minute since I uploaded my first video on my other channel, Ginger in a Book. And the reason is I had to do some searching of what I kind of wanted my booktube channel to be. And I mean by searching, probably overthinking it way too much. But my inspiration came from the latest vlog video that Books and Lala posted, and she just spoke to my soul about why I wanted to even start a booktube channel, why I wanted to join this community of wonderful, like-minded people. And it was because I just wanted to share my thoughts and opinions. I never really wanted to do a deep review of anything and dive deep because that just takes the fun out of reading. I mean, I did that for 4 years, or even more than 4 years in college. And in high school, and I found dissecting a book, figuring out the author's intentions, it ruined the fun out of reading the story and getting into the characters and the plot, and that's not what I wanted to do for myself. Nothing against reviews, I think they're wonderful, especially if you want a deeper insight to the book, but I just love sharing my thoughts and opinions on books, and reviews are not really for me because I can never portray very well my point and my views and how to get them across very well. I can do it on paper, but when I'm speaking, not very well. And I've never been like that. So Books and Lala definitely did open my eyes about, this is how she feels about book reviews and why she does the reading vlogs instead, and just getting the first reactions and her thoughts and opinions as she reads the books. And that's kind of what I want to do too. But I also still like, to sit down and just talking about the book. Why did I love it? And pinpointing, the factors of why I loved it and why it led to this rating for myself. And maybe a couple of the negatives of why it maybe not had gotten like a 5 out of 5 or 4 out of 5 stars. So, I know, I'm explaining myself on my second video, but So I just want to kind of from here on out, I'm using kind of a new tag where it's like book thoughts or thoughts and opinions of whatever book I have in the title, which we all know the book in the title. I'll get to later on. So my book, I just don't want people coming at me like, well, this is not a fully thought book review. Why can't you, you need to do this, this, and this. Well, it's not really a book review because I personally don't like doing book reviews myself. So, but enough of me talking about, and I guess maybe standing up for myself of why I'm not doing book reviews. Let's just get into the video. So today I wanted to talk to you about a new favorite series, and I'm hoping this will be my new favorite series this year, and that is Stalking Jack the Ripper by Kerri Maniscalco. I think I pronounced that name right. I'm sorry if I did butcher it. Stalking Jack the Ripper takes place in 1880s Victorian London with our main character, Audrey Rose, who is part of an elite family in Victorian society in London. Her family's had a very well, prestige line. Her father is a very wealthy tycoon. And, however, she doesn't want to live a normal Victorian life. And that's where her Uncle John comes into play, where he studies cadavers and the forensic sciences to help solve murder cases and figure out, help out doctors about, figuring out successful transplants, because you find out in the story Audrey's mother had passed away after constricting a disease when she was helping Audrey recover from scarlet fever. However, strings of murders are happening in London from who they dub called the Leather Apron, who is murdering women, messing with their body parts, their internal organs, I shouldn't say body parts, internal organs, and taking some of them to do God knows what. And so that's where Audrey Rose, who wants to study the forensic science with her uncle, is trying to solve with the help of her Uncle John's apprentice, Tom Cresswell. And throughout this book, it is their relationship blossoms as well as trying to solve these murders, especially when Audrey starts to discover they're kind of pinpointing back to her family, and she wants to prove her family's innocence. Now, there are always 3 things that I look for in a book that in order to make it 5 stars, they have to do all of these. And one of them is the character how well the characters are written and the development. I absolutely loved Audrey Rose. Just the beginning of meeting her and how badass she is of trying to keep up this societal life while in secret studying something that no woman in the Victorian era would ever think to do. And just balancing, her hidden life and her, social life was so well done, and the inner turmoil she has and conflict and her depression and her anxiety of just feeling trapped. It was so well done. Unlike other Victorian women who she kind of, in a way, kind of talks about in the book about how they just shut off their brains, where she's like, I want to keep my brain alive and pumping, and that's why she wants to do the forensic science. I also loved the relationship of Thomas and Audrey, and how Audrey, this wasn't kind of like an insta love story, which I hate insta loves. It was more of like a hate to mutual to like, okay, now I kind of see why, your brain is kind of, I'm liking it, and like getting into the like, oh wow, I actually am falling head over heels for you. So I really love that aspect and how they just bounced off each other of, Thomas made her see kind of like reading between the lines when she wasn't getting something, and then, Audrey would come back, like, why can't you be more emotional? You need to be more empathetic. It was so great. But the second thing that also definitely gets me into a book is the plot. How do you set up the plot for, character development and just keeping the story going? And oh my god, Kerri Maniscalco is literally now in my top 3 of like greatest plot twists in stories ever. I mean, the reigning champ is Cassandra Clare, but holy crap, like you start uncovering and evidence is pointing to this, and out of nowhere, it's pointing over here. And it's like, how did this come out? And it's just like, that sneaking suspicion is like, you think it's gonna go that way, but you just kind of like, no, it's pointing this way, and you forget about this, and then, well, bam, it's this. And it's like, I know this is a lot of this. It's just like whiplash, and it keeps you suspenseful and on your toes of keeping, calculated notes like I did to make sure like I can go back and go, oh, that's how I saw, like I should have seen it going that way. So loved it, and especially at the end, that plot twist. Oh my god. You'll have to read it to find out. Now, the third thing I loved, and this is kind of more towards the genre of the story I'm reading, and that is the historical element to the book. In the back, in the author's notes, Kerri explains kind of like how her thought process and the writing went, and she also like makes it clear that she did change some dates around and actually explains like how the dates were in order, how the people, who were imprisoned, how she just formulated everything. And I think that is just mind-blowing and so great that an author would do that to explain how her brain, how she was thinking during the writing process and during the researching process, and how the story came to life. It was so well done. Thank you, Kerri Maniscalco. I'm like 110% sure, and you can hold me to this, that this is probably going to be my favorite series of 2019. And that's saying a lot. And I know it's a lot of pressure to put on this series, but I have to say it. So, Stalking Jack the Ripper, I gave 5 out of 5 stars because they met all these 3 criterias. Loved it so much, and I cannot wait. I am reading the second book in the series, which is Hunting Prince Dracula, and I hope to continue because I have also the other books because there's 4 books in the series, and I can't wait to share it with you and my thoughts and opinions on it. Without further ado, I'm going to end the video right here, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching, and if you liked what you saw, please hit that subscribe button down below and hit that bell notification so you can be notified when I post. I usually try to post every Saturday, but for right now it might be a little crazy because work, it's towards the end of the season where I work, so it might be a little sporadic, but I'll try to do my best. But without further ado, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time.